don't know, people have money or make money, but they don't pay attention to this. They don't know that money can fly. And that is why when I have in my pocket, sometimes I have 5,000 naira, and then I go out of the house. By the time I return back home, I discovered that I don't have more than 1,000 naira again. And I began to ask myself, what has happened to the money? In fact, sometimes I checked my pocket and I began to rack my brain to think that, did I buy something that I'm not aware of? In fact, sometimes I conclude that they have removed money from my pockets. The reality is nobody removed the money. Because of this fact, money flies. So if you don't know this, you think that you can just keep money somewhere and then leave it like that. Money actually grows wing and flies. And so that means for me, I learn now to hold money down. It's just like you put a bed in this room. If you don't tie the bed down, the bed will fly away. So I learn now to tie money down. That's why they say you buy some things to tie money down. And we're going to get there. Money also hears words. Money is like a person. He also hears words. That is why we have to be very careful. When rich people speak, there are languages, there are words they speak, and money actually hears them. And that is why we have to be careful about what we say about money. A whole lot of times the poor say things are hard. And as long as you keep saying things are hard, money hears, and then he knows, I don't think I want to go in the direction of this person. I don't think I want to go in that, because money hears word. But rich people, even though they may not have the money in their pocket, but they keep saying positive things about money, and then things work out better for them. So this is very important. Money flows in the direction where it is best put to use. Money, that's why the rich keep getting richer. Because money understands this, that I will thrive more, I will survive more where I will be best put to use. You get surprised sometimes and you wonder why the person who already have money gets more money, and the person who does not have money does not have enough. The reason is what the rich person does with the money makes the money know that if I go back to this person will make better use of me. So money flows in the direction where it is best put to use. Money has the capacity to appreciate and depreciate. Money has the capacity to appreciate and depreciate. You can't leave money on a particular point and think it's going to remain there for long. Money has the capacity to increase and also to reduce in value. In other words, if you have 100,000 naira in your bank account, if nothing is done or necessary things are not done, you come back to realize that your money has actually depreciated. For example, if you put money in your savings account, and especially with all kind of charges that the bank are coming up with today, you go back there in the next 1 month, you will suddenly discover that the same money you put there is not the same money you have there again, because they will have removed all kind of charges. And so money has the capacity to increase and to decrease. So what I've learned is for us to learn what we can do to increase the value of our money. In other words, how can I make my 50,000 naira now to become 60,000 naira in the next few months? How can I make my 60,000 naira to become 70? How can I make my 70 to become 100,000? Because this is all what is all about money. How can I increase what I earn now to become double in the next few years? And that is very, very important. Money attracts and dispels. It is magnetic. Money attracts and also dispels. Money attracts and it's also dispelled. This is very important. Money is a defense. It sometimes saves from shame and ridicule. This is the reality of life. Money saves from shame and ridicule. If you have been in a mess before, you will understand what I'm talking about. Money saves from shame and ridicule. If I was with somebody many years ago, and we're together in the room, and then there's somebody that I respect so much. So there was a knock at the door. And lo and behold, it was somebody from the landlord came to ask for the man. Right before my eyes, the man told the guy to go and tell the landlord I was not around. I'm telling you. This is something that I was a witness. And it was later I realized that it was actually owing the landlord rent. And so he lied to the landlord that he was not around. I've also witnessed people whose loads were thrown out of the house because they could not afford to pay rent. I mean, so a lot of people have experienced all kind of shame. Money saves from shame. If you understand, I'll tell you my personal experience. I have driven a car before that I took someone who, traveled out and needed to drop them off to Ibadan. From Lagos to Ibadan. At that time, many years ago, so I drove and then got to Ibadan. And then they said, okay, please come inside, so let's entertain you. And I shook my head. I said, you better don't let me try it. Because if I try to switch off this car, this is where I'm going to sleep today. I'm telling you. I drove the car back to Lagos without switching off. Because if I try it, I won't leave that place. And the moment I got back to Lagos, switched off, that was where the car slept for that day. So I have had different experiences. And then to me, it was like, then, if I had money, I wouldn't be using that kind of a car. It was a shameful experience, I'm telling you. A lot of people live in areas not because they want to live there, but because they don't have the money to live in a better environment. You understand what I'm saying now? So money is saved from shame and ridicule. There are men who married into some families, and it was time for family engagement or some other things, and they said, okay, your own share of this is this amount. And the man could not provide anything. And then the family begins to say all kind of things. Say, look at this man. Look at this. So things like that, there is no one who will have money and will want to intentionally punish himself. No one. There is no one. So money saves from shame and ridicule. Wealth does not reside in material possession. This is another fact for us that we just quickly run through. Money does not only reside in material possessions. Money, it is not just in material possessions that you use to determine whether somebody is actually worthy or not. There are people who don't have all the things that you think you should see, but they actually are worthy. There are people who are rich, but sometimes you will not know. By the time you check their records and their bank accounts, then you will understand better. You're welcome. You will understand better. And so, a whole lot of time, we need to understand that you don't judge people sometimes by what they have that we can say with our physical eyes. You judge people by their person. And what I mean by their person, by what they have in the store. I'll give you an example. Something that just happened to me recently. I wanted to get something done for my brother, and wanted to raise money for him to fix something. And then I was trying to raise the fund, and then because I had other projects I was attending to, so we needed to fix it almost like within the space of a few days and all those things. So the person who took us there happened to be my mechanic, who was also involved. And so he called me and said, "Okay, sir, how far?" I said, "Well, I'm expecting some fund, and then we'll be able to fix it." And then I think the next day, I got an alert on my phone, and I was wondering, is the mechanic, the mechanical parts, then the vulcanizer, they are all together. All of them are together because I relate with them, like my family people and all of those things. So, and then I was thinking, I said, what is this? For my vulcanizer to me. So I called. It was now saying it's the mechanic that said he should send. I said, money for what? So I called him. I said, "Are you sure you didn't make any mistake?" He said, "That thing that we were talking about, that he sent it to me so that I could quickly fix the issue." And to cut the long story short, this guy pulled 500K to me within short days. I'm talking about my mechanic. If you look at him, if he stays here now, you look and say, who is this person here? Pulled 500K out. And so this is to confirm to us that sometimes, and I'm talking about this guy he was living in his own house, built another house, left the first house, moved to the second house, and rented the first house. So he has two houses. I'm telling you. But if you say him, you will not know. So sometimes you will need to understand that it is not just in what we see with our physical eyes. So wealth resides in the mind. Most of the time, the wealthy person cannot lose his wealth is infinitely portable, for it resides in his mind. In other words, when you see a wealthy person, his wealth is not because or defined by whatever he carries. Anywhere he goes, his wealth goes with him because the wealth is here. You understand what I'm saying now? So if he goes to the US, he's still wealthy because in his mind, he has a lot of values, so that anywhere he finds himself, he can reproduce the same thing he's doing here and make money anywhere. And that's why I say to anybody, people think it is because you live in Lagos that you make money. And I say to people, if I live anywhere, take me to anywhere, I will still make money. If I live in Abeokuta today, I will still be rich and make a lot of money, because it's all about opportunities around. And there's nowhere that you will not see opportunities. Anywhere you go, there's opportunity there. Even in the bush. How do I know this? A friend of ours called and said, I have this Chinese guy, my friend, who came to Nigeria, and they are looking for cashew, to buy and all those things. And I said, okay, I am from Ogbomoso. My people farm and they plant a lot of cashew. And I don't think they are doing anything with it. So I was trying to make calls to my people. Before I said that I understand what was going on, I just realized that the Chinese guy was already in the bush in Ogbomoso. He was already living there. He went to sit there and of course, went with some money to give to the farmers to, package and put all the things together for him. By the time I called my people to say, there's an opportunity going on, can you please do this for me? They just started telling me, you know what, we're already working for Igbo. We're already working for Igbo. They are here. They left their country, came to Nigeria, entered the bush in Ogbomoso because of cashew. The same cashew that my people were sleeping with, and they did not see any value in it. It was that bad. So, anywhere a rich man goes, he goes with his wealth because the wealth is in the mind. He creates the opportunity anywhere around. And that's why some people will say, this thing was not here before. Somebody comes there and just look at what he can do and then produce something out of it. And then it's beginning to make money. So this is very, very important. Wealth is not a thing, wealth is a thought. We need to understand that this is not wealth. The thought is a wealth. 2008, yes, I was traveling out of Lagos and was almost where I was going. It was about 15 minutes to the place. And then I had an accident. The car lost completely. The last time I saw the car was the time that accident happened. I didn't see even the back part of it. I lost the car. But I said to myself, I'm going to get another car. And it's just a matter of time. So, for me, it is not the car that is the wealth. It is my thought that I will produce another car no matter what the case may be. And it was just a matter of time. I got another car. So wealth is a thought. We're traveling out of Lagos some years back. We just got these new equipment because we deal on equipment, media equipment. Well, this equipment, one of the best cameras then, cost us millions of naira. And then we had a job in Ibadan. My people were traveling from Lagos to Ibadan. And then armed robbers stopped them. Took away everything. It was the first time we were supposed to use that equipment. And then they broke the news to me. And I was, God, what is this? What is this? It was just a matter of time. We had to replace the equipment back. If I had to live on the equipment as the thing, probably by now I would have had stroke or heart attack. So when something happens to some people, because they have attached everything about their lives to that particular equipment or that particular thing, if anything happens to that, it's just like a man who drives on the road and somebody mistakenly hits him at the back. He reacts because his life is in that particular car. He does not believe that he can live without a car. So wealth is not a thing. The real wealth is actually a thought. You should not be working tirelessly at 70. I mean, this is a fact that I believe, for me, it's also a challenge. I put this to also challenge myself. I don't believe my going out to work at 70 is because I'm looking for money to feed. It should be because I don't want to sit down on a spot. And it should be out of, okay, I want to go and have fun. That even if I don't go out today, I will still be fine. I will be okay. I will eat whatever I like to eat. And so that for me is important. The proceeds on your investment should be enough to take care of your basic needs at 65. At 65, there are things that should have been in place such that the proceeds, the returns that will be coming in should be taken care of the basic need. And what do we talk about the basic need? What are the basic needs of life? Food, clothes, shelter, basic needs. In other words, things that should be in place should be able to take care of food, take care of clothes, take care of shelter. That for me is very important. Let me not bother us with these, understanding faith, financial stability. Let me not bother us with this. Let me not bother us with talking about money or wealth or riches. There are 3 or 4 things we need to understand about it. Number 1 is to make it, like I said. Number 2 is to sustain it. Number 3 is to grow it. And number 4 is to multiply it. Most times, people talk about this, how to make money. Almost everywhere I've gone, what I hear people talk about is 25 ways to make money. 25 ways to make money. It's 5, 7 things you can do to make money. But I have come to realize that it's one of the easiest things to do. There are several things you can do to make money, and that's not difficult. If you want to make money right now, I can tell you what to do. Just go on the streets and do some crazy things. You'll be surprised that some people will be giving you money. Just, become a comedian. Just be making people laugh on the streets. Or maybe if you don't have any sense of shame, carry a bowl and then act like you are blind, and then there will be people who will feel like, let me give him money. And of course, you can make some good money. If you have 100 people give you 100 naira, that's how much? How much? That's 10,000 naira. So you can make 10,000 naira before the end of the day. And there are, of course, that's just by the way, there are other good things you can do to also make money. A lot of times people think I need money to make money. But I've realized sometimes you don't need money to make money. You need idea to make money. And sometimes you need people to make money. If I have people and I don't have money, I can get the money from the people that I have. That's why people have assets, not the physical things that you see. If you want to lose anything, don't lose people. If I lose this thing, I can get it back if I have people, good people around me. And so you can make money selling a product that you don't necessarily have to own it. You don't necessarily have to be the producer or manufacturer of that product. That's what we call other people's money, and also what we call other people's idea. You understand what I'm saying now? So I can tap into your idea in order for me to survive. You own the idea. I don't dispute that you are the owner of the idea, but I can leverage on your idea to make money for myself. Okay, example. What do you think a real estate man has to make money? Estate agent, right? Does he have a land? Do they own houses? Of course, some people own. But do they need to own a house to make money? What does he have? What does he need to have? He only needs someone who owns a land or who owns a house. The person who owns a land must have spent fortune to buy that land. His own is, you own the land, I will leverage on what you have You want to sell, I will look for the buyer, bring the buyer to you, you sell, charge you. You know, the funny thing also is that they're making money in two ways. I will charge you as the seller, and I will also charge you as a buyer. So I'll make money here, make money here. And the guy walks away with some good money. Does he have a product? No, he doesn't have a product. He's not the owner of the land. But of course, he's leveraging on the people. So making money for me is not as difficult as we think. But where the real work for me is, that's where people make money today, and in the next 6 months, they are broke. They come back to complain that they don't have money again. It is because they remain at this point, and what they do is they want to go and do other things so that they can make more money. They keep making the money keeps walking away, and then they are moving around the circle. That's what we said the other time. Money has wings. So I would rather prefer that I don't just think about making the money. I want to think about how can I sustain it, because this affected me at the early part of my life. When we started our business, we were making money, but I realized that another month I was complaining again. It was because I didn't understand how to sustain the money we're making. So it is important to understand the dynamics of money, making it, sustaining it, and when I have sustained it, in other words, if I make 100,000 naira this month, I want to try as much as possible that this 100,000 naira is still intact. And then move to the point where I can now begin to increase and grow it, such that my 100,000 naira becomes 110,000 naira. At the worst case scenario, something must be added to the 100,000 naira. And there are practical things we need to understand about this. A few years ago, a friend of ours went to do something somewhere and was given 50,000 naira for doing something just for a few hours. He got 50,000 naira. And the next day, I got an invitation that they were going to organize a party for their daughter. And then the whole 50,000 naira gone. I got 80,000 naira. Sometimes I went somewhere to do something, and then the 80,000 naira, of course, had to be put to use. I'm talking about how to grow now. That was a time. I'm talking about things that sometimes many people will think, oh, it's nothing and all those. So we used to live in an area where it's not close to where you can do bank transactions. So you have to travel a distance or take a bike before you get to where you can have access to withdraw money and all those things. So I just applied for POS, And then inside the house, we didn't have to rent a shop. We didn't have to buy anything. We didn't have to buy anything. Except for the POS given to me free of charge too. Because it was a business too for the bank. They get their, commission on every transaction. So 80,000 naira inside the house. So people come in to say, okay, we need cash and all those things. So we're turning it around. And I was shocked when my wife told me that we're about 120,000 naira. You would think it's small, but for me, it's the same principle that is applicable to everything. It's just the principle. The same way, the same principle, if it is 800,000 naira and I'm going to make 1.2 million, it's the same principle. And by the way, we need to understand that there are certain basic expenses that gives you headache more than some more important things. How do you feel when you want to go out of the house and you suddenly discover that you don't even have transport money? As small as it is, that can be embarrassing. So for me, it is a principle and it is a policy that we must look at. First of all, how can we grow these little resources? By God's grace, what we are doing today started with 5,000 naira, if not even less. And when I tell people this, it looks like maybe I'm lying. I'm not saying the truth. But I say, there's no need to lie. This is my own reality. 5,000 naira became 50,000 naira. And it's a different story today. So people don't know that it is not just to make the money. We need to learn how to multiply, how to grow and multiply the money, because it is in the multiplication that we can actually say we are financially strong. If you don't multiply it, you will keep struggling and struggling until we get to a point that you won't even know what to do again, because the rate at which things are going up. I'll give you an example. Just within a short period of time, we got a car for one of our staff. It was in January, if I'm correct. I think it was in January, February. And then it was, trying to remember now, I think it was 2 million naira. Recently, I was asking, and the person was telling me the same car is now 2.5, 2.6 between February and now. So it means that if anybody wants to buy the same type of car, it will need another extra 500,000 naira. So if I want to try that kind of a thing, it means that I must be able to have more money to afford that kind of a thing. So it's for me a critical part of financial stability. How do I survive in this kind of environment? So you can have this. How do I survive in this kind of environment? If I don't understand this, it's not just to make money, it's just important to sustain it, and so very important to multiply and grow the money coming to my hand. What you do with money, number one is to save it. When you make the money, I'm talking about how do I grow now? How do I grow? Number one is to save. Most of the time when money comes to our hand, this is where we come to. This is where we come to. We come to here. If you get an alert now, I mean, especially an alert that you are not expecting. You know, there's some alert that comes and I say, I was not expecting this money. It's like a dash. When you come, the same next thing you are thinking about is, of course, people have said several things that money is to be spent. And that's the truth. It's not a lie. Money is to be spent. In fact, some people come to conclusion that either it is your money or another person's money, whichever way, just make sure you are not lacking anyone. Like the way it is said in Yoruba, Atowo eni, atowo lowo, kolo ma fi kankan won wa. You understand what I'm saying? So many people come here. Of course, when you make the money, it is important to first of all consider this. I know it's difficult. I know it's tough. I know it's hard. But save first. How do I stabilize my income? How do I grow my income? Save it first, and then invest it. There are two, or there is a correlation between these two, saving and investment. Investment is difficult. That's the truth. But how can I make it a little bit convenient for me? Or even the saving, how do I make saving convenient for me in a way? So what I have done, or what I have practiced, and which I still practice, is, of course, you can even do it right here on your phone. Of course, you have to go to the bank before, but now they've made it so easy. It's to put in for what I call standing order, standing instruction. Just instruct the bank to remove certain amount of money from my account at a particular time every month. What that means is, without your consent, because of course you have given your consent once you do that, to say you don't need to ask me to remove the money. And of course, two things will happen. Number one thing is that you will be sad, and then ultimately you will become happy. You'll be sad because sometimes you would have even forgotten that you gave an instruction to the bank to remove the money. You understand what I'm saying now? Of course, sometimes you will have planned in your mind that, okay, 25,000 naira, we'll use it for this. And you just wake up the other morning and you discover that they have removed 5,000 naira from the money. Of course, it's still your money. And what happens is, sometimes, of course, let's look at this now. When you want to do that kind of a thing, you don't give instruction that they move the money to a place that you can easily have access to. Are you getting what I'm saying now? It's just like somebody who says, that money, I don't want to spend it. Then you put it under your pillow. The same pillow that you sleep on every day. Say, I will not touch that money. And you put it under the bed. It's a lie. It's a big, I'm telling you, you wouldn't know when you remove 1,000 from the money. And no matter how much that money is, even if it's 1 million naira, the moment you pull out 1,000 naira from 1 million naira, is it still the same 1 million naira? It's no longer 1 million naira. If they ask you today, you have pulled 1,000 naira from 1 million naira, it's still 999,000. If they say now, if you are a millionaire, come out. Can you come out? You're not, because it's your own money is 1,000 naira less, as small as it is. So you have to now understand that there must be need to create a platform where you push that money into. I'll give you an example, talking about the correlation between saving and investment. And so if I want to do investment, for example, I have a property or a landed property I want to buy. And of course, the good thing now is that they have made it so easy. There are companies everywhere now. Everywhere. They are all over Abeokuta too. Real estate companies who also sell lands and that you pay instrumentally for. They sometimes pay in 24 months and something like that. But if you have to wait till you have all the money, two things will happen. Number one, it may take you longer than you would think. Number two is, by the time you think you are ready, you have the whole money together, you will suddenly realize that the same value of the property has gone up. So your money is useless. Let's say, for example, they are selling the land for 400,000 naira, and then they say, okay, bring it in 1 year, pay instrumentally in 1 year. And then you want to wait till when you have the whole 400,000. It takes you 7 months to have 400,000 naira put together. By the time your 400,000 naira is ready, you go to the same place and they tell you the same land was selling for 400,000 is now 600,000 naira. So you have to start all over again. So it is better to save to a place where you cannot go back and say, oh yeah, give me my money. Of course, you can collect your money, but it will not be as easy as you may think. And so the instruction says every particular time of the month, take this amount of money into this particular company's account for me to buy either half or a plot of land in this place. And so, in other words, you are saving and then investing into a particular place. So you do that consistently. By the time the company says they are going to increase their money they are selling, then it does not have any effect on you. In fact, what can happen is by the time you have finished payments, then they tell you, do you want to sell? Then if you decide to sell, they sell at the rate at which the property has appreciated. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So you are no longer selling at the same amount, 400,000 you paid. They are selling at the price they are selling if the market value at that time. So it's important to save with the mindset to invest. What we do most of the time is, I may not have cash in my pocket, but I save into purchase of equipment, which is what we use to work. So I can have 1 million naira today. The next morning you find out that there is no money again in my account. The money has gone somewhere. And what we invest in, we reproduce that money back many times over. So it's important to do that. It is not everybody that can run businesses. And I keep saying it. Sometimes even as an employee, you can also achieve the same result. If you do this as an employee, save into buying a landed property somewhere, but the time you have finished payments, you say you want to sell, and then you can sell and make more money. And let me give you this analysis. If you think that I don't want to put money into anybody's account, I will be putting money in my account, no problem, that's fine. But after a while, let's say, okay, it's going to take you 1 year to save and invest into a particular property, and then you say, okay, I'm not going to save into that, I will put my money together in one account. By the time you go back to the same account after a year, the money you have put there, I can assure you, will be less than what you have put there, because they will have removed all kinds of charges. Let's even say bank says we will give you interest on your money, maybe savings account. How much do you think they will give you? Savings account. How much percentage interest rate? How much do they give? 10%. For where? God said for where? Do you think they'll give up to 5%? Maybe, and I doubt it. That is not correct. Even the 2% I doubt. Because that's the reality. It's going to be 5%. But the 2% is by maybe you struggle too. So if you put money in the bank and then you cannot, and let me tell you this, any investment that you do that cannot give you, worst case scenario, worst case, I'm saying that it is so terribly bad, you cannot give you 5%. It's useless. I'm telling you. In other words, if you save 500,000 somewhere, and at the end of the year, you cannot get how much is 5% of 5% of 500,000? That's 25,000. You cannot get 25,000. It's okay. My money has yielded 25,000 for me in a year. It's useless. Are you getting what I'm saying now? So it means that you have to now decide and think of the kind of investment that will, because we're talking about increasing and multiplying your money. People don't think about all these things. Somebody just comes and says, okay, come and invest. The question you should ask is, before I invest, how much? Because these are questions that you should ask. if you come to me and say, come and invest into something, one of the questions I will ask you is, number one, what is the duration? Number two, how much do you want to give me back on my investment? If you don't promise me something that I know will make my money useful at the end of the day, so let's say, for example, we just gave an analysis. I just gave an example. A car that was sold for 2 million naira is now 2.5 million naira. If I have invested into a particular venture and I put 2 million naira there, and at the end of the year, if I don't get something close to what will make me buy the car after a year, that means that money is useless. You understand what I'm saying? If that money is useless, because the reason for investing is so that I could be able to afford to buy the car. By the time I want to buy the car, my 2 million naira is now useless. It means I want to go and look for more money to be able to buy the car. Because the essence of investment is to make life comfortable for me, that by the time things are going up, the return of my investment will be able to help me to catch up with whatever it is that I want to buy at the end of the day. So one of the questions is, how much interest? And of course, I'm supposed to get there, but in case I don't get there, let me quickly say this. Why people lose money in investments is because they stop at the point of asking the question about how much interest rate do you want to give me? How much money do you want to add to my money? They do not push further to ask, how secure is this platform or is this investment? That's why people come now to say, bring 500,000 naira, we will give you 50% in 6 months. In fact, in 4 months. Some people are promising 50% in 4 months. So they are saying that if you give me 500,000 naira, in 4 months, we will give you 750,000 naira. That's the cheapest, easiest way to make money. And they are saying you are not supposed to work. Of course, that's the investment. You are not working. You are not doing anything. You just sit down, cross your leg. After 4 months, take 250,000 naira. If it is that cheap, I told someone, if it is that cheap, I will sold all the cars. I'll sold everything. I'll sell everything. I'll sell everything and give you the money. That I'm sure. If I give you 1 million, in 4 months, you give me 500K. What am I working? Another 4 months. Another I must be crazy to be going out every day. I won't go anywhere again. I'll just be drinking champagne. I'm telling you. I just go to Asun Suya Babi's shop and be eating suya. In fact, if you pass, I'll call you to come and buy. I will buy for you free of charge. I'm telling you. I won't worry myself again if it is that real. So a lot of people lose money because of this unrealistic promise that people give. Are you getting what I'm saying? So the question is, how secure is this platform? So they don't ask questions. One of my brothers wanted to invest in a particular line of business. Of course, good line of business. They have put up their adverts everywhere. Come and invest. We'll give you this extra money on your investment. So he drove out of the house and, went to the address. When he got there, because the sign shows that this is not looking realistic. Because you will have expected that people are making this big noise, should have this and this in place and all those things. So that kind of thing was not there. Of course, he got there, met somebody, and then in the process of discussion, he just realized this is all lies. This is all lies. And if he did not go there If he had sent his money, maybe we'll have entered one chance. So it is good to ask questions, how realistic or how secure. And one of the things we need to pay attention to is the word I call control. Control. The point is, if I'm going to invest, I ask myself, how much control can I have over my investments? if I, because that's why what happened with stock or shares is that issue. No control. It is what they say that you get. And when they came to say shares or stock has crashed, because you never had any control anyway, so everybody just took the same thing they said. So now I advise people, before you invest, ask questions. How viable is this platform? How realistic is it? How dependable is it? What volume of control do I have? One of our people lost a lot of money into this kind of issues, arrangement. Of course, they give you good promise, fantastic promise. So she invested not even her own money now, other people's money. Because we had to share in this. So she invested, and then lo and behold, they knocked at her door, brought the money to her. Said, "Madam, we are glad to let you know that your investment has yielded almost double, and this is both your capital and your profit." In a short period of time, and she was like, "Wow, is it so easy? This is how easy it is." And they said, "You know what, madam? If you do this again, then it means that you will have more money and make more money." I said, "You mean if it happened then, it can happen now?" They said, "Madam, you can trust us." And then she just gave, they said, "This is the money we just wanted you to see." They brought the cash. We just wanted to see that this is. I said, "You know what? Let me just touch it and then let me reinvest it again." And then she invested the money, and that was the end of everything. She didn't see anything again. No, both the capital and the profit, everything disappeared. You get what I'm saying now? So for me, this is very important. Don't just drop money where you won't have control and you cannot trust the integrity of the place. One of the things you have to watch out for is to know that this thing may not be realistic. When somebody is promising you what you know is not real, you want to pay me 100% in 1 year. 1 year, you tell me 100%. How realistic is that? If it is that realistic, then everybody will have become millionaire by now. So that should give you a check to watch it very well and then know that it is not. Somebody called me and said, "Okay, I should come and invest this, that, and that." I said, "Okay, no problem." But for me, I don't do this kind of stupid investment. And so he put his money there. And then I'm not sure he got anything up until now. And this is someone who did not even have enough money to throw around. So why are you wasting the little resources you have? I mean, if I was to advise him, I would have advised him, "Oga, give this money to your wife. Let her open a shop. The two of you sit down there and be monitoring this. You will be seeing your money with your eyes." And you see, you also need to understand that if you sit down with this small thing, the same thing can grow and beat the same thing that you want to make. But because we are a lot of times we go greedy, we want to make it quick and sharp. And so invest when you make money, and then with the mindset to multiply it. Don't just invest because you want to invest for investment's sake. You also need to invest so as to grow the money, because that's the whole essence of what we're talking about. And then when you have done this, then you can now look at what happens here. When you have made proceeds, returns from your money, then you can now think of spending. That's why many people make mistake of comparing themselves with some other people. For example, I have invested some money into something, and after like a year, it has yielded a certain percentage. I take from the percentage to go and spend on something. You come and see me spending on something, and then you think you can also compete with me. You take your own capital to compete with me on that platform, and you're making a big mistake. My own capital is still intact. I'm only spending from my own proceed. You understand what I'm saying now? Then you take your own capital to say, that man bought something, I also want to go and buy it. But what I used to buy is just the proceed from my own investment. And so many people don't pay attention to that. I see a lot of people who drive good cars. And I said to myself, I can also buy these good cars, but I need to know it is not time to buy this kind of a car. Not because I don't have the money for it, but it will come with ease without using my own capital to buy it. And so this is what is happening to a lot of people. The person who has used his own capital to buy the car, after 5 years, we realize that the car has depreciated in value, he has lost money, and then come back to a point that he cannot continue to do anything again. I mean, when you came to a point where you have to be borrowing money to buy fuel into a car, there's a problem somewhere. So this is very, very important. Of course, part of the things you need to also pay attention to is to give. Give people who are in need. When you are talking about what to do with money, everything we have is given to us by God. And one of the things I've realized is there is no level you have that you won't have something to give to somebody. There's somebody who does not have what you have, no matter how bad it may be. No matter how bad it may be. That cloth that you may think is too bad, you just realize that there's somebody somewhere who's praying to God, looking at you wearing that cloth, that think this cloth, I don't like it again. The person's prayer point is, God, I wish I have this kind of cloth to wear. And that for me is very, very important. So what you can do with money, continue to think about it. Don't say to me that you don't like to talk about money. When I hear somebody say, I don't like to talk about money, I look at the person as somebody who is deceptive. One of the good things to do is to think about it, to talk about it. How much should I make this year? How much can I make next year? What do I need to do to make 1,000 naira, 3,000 naira? I was asking a question. I asked one of my key persons, who the person I said I took back to Ibadan. We were waiting at the airport, and then I looked at him and I said, sir, then at that time, what do you think I should do or I can do to make 1 million naira from just one transaction? I'm not talking about 100,000 naira, 100,000 naira in 10 places. I mean, I do 10 different jobs, 100,000 naira. That's 1 million naira right now. At that time, I wanted to break out of that level. I want one single transaction that will give me 1 million naira, because it was already there. So I asked him that question, what do you think I should do? And then we share a few things. He shared few things with me. And it was just a matter of time. It was just a matter of time. You understand what I'm saying now? It was just a matter of time. Share a few tips with me. And it was just a matter of time. I mean, that became a reality. You understand what I'm saying now? Don't be too shy. You're welcome, sir. Don't be too shy to talk about money. Anytime they are talking about money, He say, no, I don't want to hear about it. No, that's not good enough. Don't be too shy to talk about it. Don't be too tired to about. One of the things you do with money is also make it also give it, give offering and all those things. That's very, very important. Now, this for me is something that I have realized that if we don't know, we may not be able to tight our seatbelt or fasten our seatbelt very well. Like I said the other time, there are some people that will not be able to make 1 million naira at a time in their entire lives. At a time. They will be making money, making 1,000 naira, 10,000 naira. It's just like, do you know also there are people who do businesses? I'm sure they are all over here because they are in Lagos. That all the things they have as what they call a business is not more than 15,000 naira. I don't know whether I'm right. Everything. If you say, come, how much is everything? Everything you are selling. It may not be more than 20,000 naira. That's what they are living on. Of course, they've been able to manage themselves, some spending, using that same business to send their children to school and all those things. But that may not give them the kind of result that they will actually want. And so there are times that we need to sit down to ask ourselves, with what I'm doing now, can I really make it in life? As in make it faster. If I am 50, how long will it take me to make 50 million naira? Have we ever asked that kind of a question before? Have you ever asked that kind of a question before? And so when you ask that question, then the response will make you know, with what I am doing right now, can I really get there in the next 5 years or in the next 10 years? And then you will realize that what I am doing now, I need to change my style. I need to change my style. And that, for me, what makes this an high opener for me. So if somebody is working now as a salary earner and his income is 50,000 naira every month, it will take him 20 months to make 1 million naira. So if somebody says, I want to be a millionaire in 1 year, do you think this is a reality? Can become a reality? I want to make 1 million naira in 1 year. Do you think this will become a reality? To 50,000 naira? Huh? It's possible. How do you think it's going to be possible? Maybe we should share together. How do you think it's going to be possible? His income is 50,000 naira. Everything he gets every month is 50,000 naira. He sells, he does anything, everything that comes to him is 50,000 naira. How do you think he can make 1 million naira in 1 year? In 12 years. If he does not eat, he does not do anything. Everything is just putting everything together in 1 year. Can he achieve 1 million? Let's say he's not eating, he's not doing anything. No, I'm just saying, let's suspend all the unforeseen contingencies. Let's just leave. If he's not spending anything on anything at all, it's just the 50,000 he's keeping, even in a year, it's still not up to 1 million naira. It's still 600,000 naira. Are you going to have say now? Without saving, without everything 100%, he still cannot achieve 1 million. You see, that's why at that point, if I am in the shoe of this person, I would then now need to sit down to ask myself, what should I do to achieve? Because it's also important to set definite goals within a specific period. Because if I leave it to, I just want to make 1 million naira, the question should be, within what space of time? So in 1 year, I want 1 million naira. It means that even if I don't eat, like Daddy said, if you have to eat, he's talking about unexpected expenses. So even if I'm not spending anything, I won't still be able to make 1 million naira. So that means I will now need to sit down to ask myself, what do I do to achieve? Because it's all about financial goals. What do I do to achieve my financial goals? What can I do to make 1 million naira in 1 year? If you look at this, anybody who makes 1 million naira, 100,000 naira in 10 months can achieve this. In 10 months, it will make 1 million naira. Right? So the question then I will be asking myself is, what do I need to do to increase what I get to 100,000 naira every month? So if we need to look at this, you look at this very well, then, because I need to mention this, that to make money is not something that happens automatically. If you see anything working, somebody is working it somewhere. That's the thing. That's the truth. So I will need to ask myself, what should I do to increase what I get to 100,000 naira? Now, let's come back to other things that we have said. We've talked about the basic need of life: food, clothes, shelter, and other unexpected expenses. By the time I remove all of these, can I still achieve 1 million naira at the end of the year? So I will now need to look at what I should do. And remember, part of the things we said about was to follow this. You know, there are some investments that you can be sure at the end of the year will give you something reasonable. Let me give you an example. And I share it because it's what I have tried. When you invest into something and you are sure you will get 20% at the end of the year, that becomes part of the things that we need to look at. I like to do a lot of calculations, but let's just also go through it. If this person here have 600,000 naira, right, at the end of the year, and he pushed the whole 600,000 into something, and they promise him 20%. Or let me ask us, what percentage do you think is realistic, is reasonable, that you think is not out of the way as return on investment? What do you think is realistic? %? Do you think shouldn't it be more? At least. Which other one do you think is 15, 20? So let's work with 20. 20 is still not absolutely bad. 15, 20. So if this person invests in 600,000 naira and he gets 20%, how much is that? 120. So let's say the first year he has 720, right? 720. That's what we call compound interest. Compound interest means by the time he's investing again, he's investing the whole 720. So when the interest is coming, it's not coming on the 600. It's coming on the 720. So 20% on 720 is how much? Huh? 280. So if you add 280 to 720, how much is that? It's over ₦1 million. Abi? No? 280, 720. It's just $1 million. So that means the first year, let's say he used the first year to gather 600. That's the first year. 50,000 every month. The first year is 600. Then that's year one. Year two, that year one, he pushed the money. So the end of year two, he has 720. The end of year three is having ₦1 million. And let me tell you the way this thing works is the more money you invest, the more return you get. So if he tries it in year 4, he gets how much? That's 1.2, right? So I'm trying to explain this, but if someone does not look at this, what mistake a lot of people make is they think 50,000 naira is nothing. They want to make ₦1 million and they get 50,000 naira. They think 50,000 naira is nothing, but they don't understand that if I put this 50,000 together over a period of time, I will achieve my ₦1 million. So somebody who's earning this as income will think the money is nothing. The money is ridiculous. It's little. I can't do anything with this. But he doesn't know that if he works around this 50,000 every month, he will become a millionaire within a space of 3 years. So this is one area that people think. Someone has said to me, if only I can get ₦1 million now, I'll make it big. And I said, it's a lie. Because the ₦1 million you are looking for is in this 50,000 naira. If only we can understand how this thing works. But the question is, between the two, all of us, I always also said, we need to now look for viable platform to put the resource such that you can achieve that result faster and more conveniently. So, but for somebody who is already, that's one area, right? That you can achieve ₦1 million. The other area is, what can I do? If you're earning 250,000 naira as income, maybe when you have removed all your expenses, in 4 months, you're already there. But the question is, how many people can play here? After spending all, I have 50,000 naira, 250,000 naira. How many people? Not too many people. If I earn 114 naira per hour, every hour of the day, in a year, I will have ₦1 million. That's something that sometimes we don't pay attention to, and that is little income, large number of customers. That's one area that many people don't pay attention to. I was trying to do a lot of calculation with my wife, and we realized that the question we're asking was, what on earth was or is the like of Cadbury will be doing with selling chewing gum? Chewing gum of, there's one they sell for 100, and there's this smaller one. What's the name of this chewing gum? I've forgotten. This green color, Chlorate. There's a smaller pack they sell for 20 naira. So I asked myself, what on earth would the almighty Cadbury will be looking for selling a product for 20 naira? And of course, the 20 naira is the price from the shop, right? From the shop. Not, they are selling lower. Maybe the price they are pushing out is even 10 naira. And they are not making profit. But we realize they are playing with volume. Maybe every month, the target is we're going to be selling nothing less than How much do you think, how many people do you think they are reaching out to? 5 million. God bless you. 5 million. 5 million children. Not even children now, because adults also take the thing up. You understand? 5 million. So let's look at 5 million. 10 naira every month for one chloride, and they are selling to 5 million people. How much is that? That's 50 million. 50 million selling one product. So you can be sure that they make money because they are playing with volume. The money is small. So I looked at the same thing, that if I can follow the same principle, I don't need to sell product that is expensive. I can sell something that is not expensive, but I will now target large number of people. And then before you know it, I can make a lot of money. That is what the telecommunication companies are playing and working with. And of course, they have come to a point where they're just working with what we call the wind. Each time we make calls, they're making money over our calls. And the money looks so cheap to us, but to them, how many subscribers do you think the like of MTN will have? If they sell a recharge card of 50 naira, at least you can be sure to at least 1 million people. That's 50 million. Just selling recharge card. You're not talking about data. You're not talking about other things that they do. So I looked at all these things and realized that there are different things also we need to also leverage on. Things that we can also do, or we should do, to also generate income. So if I can do something that will give me 114 naira per hour, 114 naira is small. But if I have it per hour, every hour of the day, in 1 year, I'll be a million naira. And if I do that repeatedly over a period of time, in 5 years, only God knows how much it will become. If you follow the compound interest we're talking about. At the point you hit a million naira, the thing becomes easier for you to achieve bigger results. Because if you follow the same principle, you started with 600,000 naira, let's say another 3 years now, 1 million the first time, you have finished the first cycle, the first 3 years, and now you have 1 million. Put the same 1 million, 20%, that's 1.2. The second year is how much? 1.2, 20% of 1.2. If you repeat that same exercise, before you know it, you have 2 million naira already. And then if you grow that, before you know it, you have 10 million naira. That's what has actually happened. So 5,000 people buy a product and then you make 200 naira. That's a million naira. 200 naira. 200 naira. 200 naira is like nothing. Or if you sell to 5,000 people, sell a product, make 500 naira. Sell to 2,000 people. Abeokuta is big enough. Do you think we can get up to 5,000 people in Abeokuta? More than. But let's even talk about the whole of Ogun State. This is very, very important. 10,000 people to buy a product and then you make 100 naira selling to 100 people. 1,000, 10,000 people. 1,000 people. Because the point is, we have not really sat down to look at what we can do. What exactly can we do? How can we reach out to? It is not everybody that can sell a product for 500,000 naira. It is not everybody. But there are products that we can sell and then you make little money and then you are there. So I did all this breakdown for us to know that you don't necessarily have to sit down with one particular thing to think that you can make money from it. And a whole lot of time, some of the things we can sell, like I said, are things that somebody already made, somebody already produced. Then you can leverage on that to sell. During COVID, we brought in a product, and then I didn't produce it, and I don't want to even produce. I don't want to be a manufacturer. I just want to sell. So we realized this particular product, at that time, okay, it's even here. At that time, businesses shut down. Nobody could do anything. You can't go to work. You can't go to church. So the only thing that was working at that time was meetings were online. Of course, still online now. So you have people attending meetings online and all those things. That's why I was saying that you don't even need all the money to start putting things together. Somebody will think I need 500,000 to start a business. Sometimes it's not just the truth. So I walked out of the house when the lockdown was eased, and then I walked out of the house and went to the market. Because I realized that this became a product that people were using. You just put it, for your online, put your phone, and then you don't have to hold your phone in your hands and all those things. So I did this. I went to the market to buy. But before I went, I already looked at, okay, that's why I talked about pay attention to people, not just things. If you have people, the people you have will give you the money that you are looking for. That's why we're talking about numbers here, 2,000 people. If you have 2,000 people and you are able to sell something to them and you get 42 naira from each of them, you have 1 million naira already. So I went to meet one of my guys and then asked him, how much can I buy this? I think it sold for me for 5,000 naira. So I bought one with just 5,000 naira. What I did was I think I called someone to design, do a graphic design for me to advertise this. So I just put an advert that you don't have to hold your phone in your hands. You don't have to stress yourself and this and that. And so I posted it on my WhatsApp platform. While I was coming from the market where I went to buy one, a friend of mine called and said he needs one immediately. I said, okay, what I have was just one. I will give you this one. Then you have to pay me for it and all those things. I really wanted to use it for myself. So he paid me for that one. And then before I said Jack Robinson, I got requests more than what I could handle. So I had to go and meet the guy to, give me more. As I sell, I will pay you. And that was how we started to sell this. And then I don't know how many we have sold. I mean, we sold as far as sending to Abuja, Mina. And of course, I'll tell you what I did also to also sell, because sometimes we think, where will I get 500 people? Where will I get 1,000 people from? Where will I get this number of people from? I don't even have all these people. At a point, I exhausted the number of people or the people I could reach using my own personal platform. I exhausted that. So I leveraged on social media. So I went online. There's a platform we call Gigi. And I know we know Gigi, right? That you know Gigi. And Gigi, of course, you sell, you buy. Most of the times we think Gigi is just for you to buy products. You want to go and buy this, go on Gigi. You will get people who are selling that product. Of course, variety. So it was the first time I would go on Gigi to sell. Okay, maybe I sold a car, but not me directly. Somebody posted it there for me. For the first time, I would personally put a product. So I did the design, posted it on Gigi, free of charge. It was free. But I needed to make people see me more. And all I needed to pay for 7 days was, I think, 2,000 or 2,005. Let's just say 2,005. In 1 week, I got calls from everywhere. The people I've never met in my life. So we sold this. Well, how much did I start with? 5,000 naira. And let me tell you what. Initially, I was selling for 7,000 naira. So I was making 2,000 naira. What percentage is that? You buy for 5,000, you sell for 7,000. How much percentage is that? How much profit is that? Almost about 40%. Because 50% of 5,000 is 2,005. So I was getting about 40% profit. Are you getting what I'm saying now? So that's why I said, how do I make ₦1 million? This is just one of the easiest ways. So I'm not saying sell this. It's just to identify something that somebody have and you go and sell. And you don't need to go on everywhere knocking at everybody's door to say you want to sell. This is just one platform. All the people I sold to, I can't see them. I didn't see them. Call, we deliver to you, and then I make my money. The issue was I confirm payment before I sent to you. So this is something that is very, very important. 3 plus 2 could be equal to 8. Ordinarily, 3 plus 2 should be 6. But if you follow what I've said, you could have 8. How to stay on top of your finances? I'll just run through this. Number 1 is spend less than you make. To become rich, to become truly wealthy, you have to spend less. You have to spend less than you. The moment you are spending more than you make, there's no way you can achieve financial freedom. That for me was a challenge. It was a problem because I discovered there were too many demands, asking for this, people asking for this, calling for your attention. You are spending more than you earn. There's no way one can be truly rich. And I'm throwing this as a challenge. There are times that you get requests from places and people. I tell you, if you have to give attention to all the demands and requests, I'm telling you, one will not go anywhere. This morning, I still got one request, and I shook my head and said, you know what? I'm not going to do anything. Even though I know I can afford to do it, but I'm not going to do it because if I do it, it's going to affect my plans. So we have to come to a point where you know you have to spend less. No matter how pressured we may be, to become truly wealthy, to sustain wealth, we have to spend less and to stop spending with emotions. That's what happens around us, spending with emotions. Oh, I just feel like I should spend. You don't spend with your feelings. You spend when it becomes needful and necessary. That you can afford it does not mean you buy it. Even though you know you have the money for it, but if it is not necessary, you don't buy it. There are times when you know that what some people are doing, you can also do, but you are not doing it because you know definitely you don't need to do it at that time. I give these stories almost every time, and then it's something that I have learned from. There was a time when I wanted to show off. I wanted to show myself. And then I, after church, called, the family, said, you know what? Let's go and eat out. And then we went to Chinese restaurant. I said, all this Chinese restaurant they are talking about, what is it all about? Today we must put the enemy to shame. Let's go there. And so we went. And then, of course, the treatment was very fascinating for me, very excited. I said, so this is what they experience here. Oh, this life is good, edgy. And then they gave us the treatment, the, what do they call it? The first thing they serve you, appetizer, or what do they call it? And then, some people have eaten appetizer so much that they become hypertensive. So if you are not careful, so they gave us all the treatment, and then the real food came. And then after eating, and then the bill came. Thank God my wife was around. And thank God she had her ATM. card with her. She was the one that paid me her. Because I ate in my pocket. The money I had on me was not enough to take care of the bill. I had to quickly go and withdraw. And that day, I said to myself, like what the word of God says, thou shalt not tempt the Lord your God. I said, next time, I will not put God into temptation. So we left that place. And then a few weeks after, we're driving past and the kids were saying, Daddy, that place. I said, that place? That place? No way. So I just ignored the place because I knew if I had to continue to do this, I won't achieve what I needed to achieve. So I didn't allow my emotions to move me again. Ignored it. But buy mostly what you need per time. Mostly what you need. If it is not needed, I'll get to something now that I'm going to show us. Don't take back loan for personal and unproductive reasons. A lot of people are on pressure right now. Taking bank loan for personal and unproductive reasons. Personal and unproductive reasons. When we talk about personal, as Bible as it is, taking loan to pay house rent. You get what I'm saying now? People take loan to buy cars, personal cars, not business. If you are using the car for business and the car is directly generating income. And by the way, let me quickly give us an analysis or analogy with respect to taking loan. Sometimes people are under pressure to pay back bank loan because they didn't do their due diligence, they didn't do their analysis and calculation well. The way it works is, in the real sense of it, it is not the thing that you are taking the money for that is supposed to repay that bank loan. If you don't want to be put under pressure. Let me give you an example. You go and buy a car to be using for business, and you have done an analysis, calculation that you'll be making certain amount of money every month. And then some things happen. Like he said, unexpected expenses. The car develops a fault and you are not able to put it to use in 1 week, and then the income is not coming as expected. And bank in Nigeria don't want to hear stories. That's what we call moratorium. Moratorium means they give you, say, okay, you get money in some other country. They say, we understand that your business will take time to take off. Use this money for 1 year, then start paying us back after 1 year. The same month. But that's what happens over there. Maximum, they even say, okay, 3 months. Take time, relax, put yourself together, then start paying back after 6 months. But here it does not work. So when you take bank loan, the ideal thing is to have a backup repayment plan somewhere. I'm just saying the ideal. But in most cases, it doesn't work. So that's why people are under pressure. Because what you have taken the bank, though you have a fantastic business idea, but the business is not coming forth as you calculate. Sometimes you have to get bank loan to even sell a product, but you supply the product and your buyers don't pay you as at when due. And then you are in trouble. So that for me is very, very important. So don't take bank loan for personal and unproductive reasons. It is so bad that people take bank loan to even do burial ceremony. It is that bad. They have calculated that when my people come, they will give me an envelope. And God helps you. Nobody is bringing an envelope. They will spray you money. But if somebody is spraying you, has done his calculation. 50 naira, 20 pieces. How much is that? Of course, by the time the camera is showing that this person is spending money, you would think you have spent a lot of money. But just 1,000 naira. God said to you, you have calculated that you will make 100,000 naira. I know everybody who pays you, by the time you get home and you count the money, it's no more than 10,000 naira. You understand what I'm saying now? So it's very important. Don't take back loan. So think on these. Number one is buy things, put into consideration something that is important but not urgent. Urgent but not important. Important and not urgent. In all of this, which one do you think is important that we should pay attention to when you are making a decision? Important but not urgent. Urgent but not important. Important and urgent. So when you want to take a decision to buy anything, this is supposed to be the first thing to give consideration to. If it is not important and urgent at the same time, then it should be the last thing you have to think about. So when you're making decision, this is very, very important. Very, very important. Sometimes you have money to buy a car, but you ask yourself, this car, is it important? Is it urgent? Can I do without it for the next 6 months and invest the money into something that will give me more return, at least for the next 6 months? So if it is not urgent, can I defer it for another 1 year? This is very, very important. Very, very important. Make friends with wealthy people. I talked about people the other time. Make friends with wealthy people. Read books about money. Don't say, I don't like reading books. There are times you need to read books that talks about money. Create consistent income for yourself. That's what we talked about. The other things you can do. Consistent income. What makes you wealthy is income, not assets. I learned a big lesson from there. What makes you wealthy is income, not assets. Not assets. What makes you wealthy is income, is not assets. In other words, of course, you can't even put car as an asset, except that car is generating money for you directly. Now, do you think having a house is an asset? That's the point I wanted to get to. That's the point I wanted to get to. So it's if you are not generating direct income from the house. So, but if you put tenants there, then it becomes an asset because it's generating income. You understand? So, because I was in that. Because he said, you must build your house. Build your house. Okay, let me go and. So I built. So I was listening to a message, and then it was like somebody hit me and like an hammer. So I said to myself, broke down my ego. And so we have to rethink and change our plans. So today, the house is an asset because we're earning from it. You understand what I'm saying now? So the reason to invest is to have income for life without working. You don't just put money into something and you think it's an asset. It must be that you are generating directly income from it, making money from it. If you can, do what you can to get somebody to pay you something for that particular thing. That for me is very, very important. Focus on one thing at a time, not too many things at a time. These are very, very important things. Now, stop keeping your money in the bank for longer than necessary. Don't keep your money in the bank. I give apologies to bankers. I have younger ones who work in the bank, but I tell them, you don't expect me to keep my money with you for longer than necessary. The reason why I keep my money there is just for security. Because there's nothing you want to do for me. You don't have any value to add to me except for the security of the money. How much will you give me at the end of the year if I put my money in your bank for 1 year? How much? As a matter of fact, most or some of the money that they use to give to other people, they charge big interest on everybody's money. How we've thought about that? Everybody's money. But you go to the same bank and say, I want to borrow 1 million naira for the next 6 months. Ask them, Let them tell you how much they will collect from you. Sir? 15, no. It's more than. Average commercial bank. I'm not even talking about the microfinance now. Average commercial bank is nothing less than 24%. Average. Now, they want to give you 1 million naira. They're asking for, let's even say 20% from you. How much is that? 1.2. Okay. Go to the same bank and say, I have 1 million naira. I'm not doing anything with for the next 1 year. What can you give me on this 1 million naira? Single digit. If it's a single digit. So it's to tell us that it is not the best place to put money if we're talking about really, really growing our wealth. Bank is not the best place to keep money if we're talking about growing your wealth. So I say, maybe for 1 month, just leave it there for 1 month and move it to something that will directly give you money at the end of the day. So that for me is very, very important. I do not hate banks, but I have come to realize that they will make money from us until Jesus comes. I get some debit alert that sometimes I am worried about. I don't even understand how they remove it. I don't know how they remove it. If you do any transaction today, you are sure a certain percentage of the money is going out. How much they charge for, they call it COT. What else again? They remove VAT, SMS alert, stamp duty, all kind of charges. By the time you calculate, you will think it is nothing. But spread it over a period of time, you realize how much of your money has gone into all kinds of transactions. And you know where they make money from? If a bank has at least 1 million customers, every day, can you imagine how much transactions people are making? Maybe they make at least 100 naira from one person per day. And they have 1 million customers. How much is that? That's 100 million. So we need to be careful to know that this is so. You must not have less than 2 accounts. That for me is something that I like to say to everybody. You must not have less than 2 accounts to build wealth. I've seen people say, okay, I don't want to have many accounts. No, you don't. There's a reason why you do it, because one account must be for regular and basic spending. Why you have another one for saving and investment? That's why we talked about the other time. There's an account you must have for savings and investment, such that you know any money in this account should not be spent at all. Don't have one account. There's another account you must have for projects. So I know any money in this account is not, and you know what you do with that account, right? If you have an account for savings and investment, and you have ATM for that account, it's like deceiving oneself. You can't tell me you have an ATM card and then you are saying this account is my saving and investment account and you have ATM card for it. No, that's not. Because I tell you, things will happen and you will go there to spend the money. So let them say you want it, or whether you want it or not, collect it and you know what? Damage it deliberately. Because if you have it, you will spend it. Oh, let's set you up for internet banking. I don't want. Set you up for, what is it again? Mobile banking. You know the adventure of mobile banking. It looks as if it makes life easy, but it is one of the easiest way to make you spend money. Just on your phone, 737 or any number, before you say Jack Robinson, the money is gone. So I have an account where I know I cannot do anything except I walk into the banking hall. I want to be slowed down. It's deliberate. I want to be slowed down as far as running the account is concerned. So I don't want to just walk and wake up in the middle of the night and somebody will say something happened. No, there's nothing that must happen. I cannot spend this money except I walk into the bank. So this is very, very important. So look at these three areas. If you have one account and all these things are there, there's a problem. You cannot build true wealth running one account with these three areas. The same account is for project, the same account is for savings and investment, the same account is for basic and regular spendings. Same account. It is not going to work. I'm telling you, there's no way it will work. Because somebody will come to you and make a demand, and you will not have any choice than to pull from that account to give the person. And let me tell you, the moment you take this sum of money out of that account, the plan, I went to someone some years ago, was trying to raise money for a particular equipment. At the time, it was very hard for me to raise the money. I mean, of course, I needed to break into a particular, line, and then we needed to raise some millions of naira. So it was very tough. So I walked into somebody's place and I went to Ibadan to meet him. And then I was in his house. I said, "Sir, I need this amount of money. I will pay you with interest." And he said, "My brother, I'm sorry. We have a project we are doing right now, and then it's going to be difficult for us to do anything right now." I felt bad, but I appreciated him more. And he said to me that if, as a family, we have decided to buy AC, and then the money is not complete, and it's going to take us another 2 days or 3 days to fix that AC, if anybody comes, nothing is going to make us change our plan. That AC must be fixed. And I felt like, wow, this is good. Of course, we're still very close, very close. In fact, I still chat with him. We still spoke this morning. That was a very tough one for me. But if you don't do that, you just keep spending and then spending, and nothing happens at the end of the day. Of course, the standard is 1/5, 1/5. If you're going to save, do 1/5, and then that is for me the standard. Budgeting for me is key. I've mentioned it. You plan for what you want to buy. Don't just buy with emotions. If it is not in the budget, don't do it. I'm surprised when people call and say, "Sorry, we need this amount of money." And I ask, "When do you need it?" And the next thing is, "I need it now." And I'm like, "Do you think I don't have any plan? Everything I'm supposed to spend for the next 1 week or 2 weeks, I have planned for it, and you are not in the plan." And then people feel bad. I said, you don't have to feel bad. So this is not everybody that comes to you. It's not everybody that comes to you that you attend to, if it is not in your budget. But everybody attends to everybody because they don't even have any plan for themselves. In the next 1 year, these are the things we're going to do. If you come in between it, we may not be able to attend to you. This is what budgeting does. Investment is very important. Like I've said, if you invest 50,000 naira per month for 5 years, like we said the other time, compound interest. This is what I calculated. The other time we were talking about 1.2. In 5 years, this is what I come up with. In 5 years, consistently, you are doing it every year. For 5 years. In 5 years, you will have over 4 million naira. Of course, at 12%. Because this is the way it works. If you keep putting 50,000 naira every month, you know, the first 1 year, you already have 600,000 naira. You do it again for another year. You know, the last time, the calculation we did was that you have 720. But we now said, put the 720 again, right? What I am saying here is that, you know, you have done the first year 600. Do the same thing again, the same way you have put 50,000 naira for 1 year. Do it again. You have 600 another year. Put that 600 with the former. Are you getting what I'm saying now? Do it over a period of time. At people 12%, this is what you will have. But look at it this way. If you put 600,000 in the bank for 5 years, 600,000 in the bank every year, 600,000 in the bank, how much will you have in 5 years? No, that's in 1 year you have 600,000. 600,000 in 5 years. That's 3 million naira. That's the best you can get. So this is what you have at 12%. Now imagine at 15%. What you can have. It's well over 5 million naira that you will have. So this is one area that many people don't pay attention to. It is very, very. So don't buy it if you don't increase in your financial status. Join cooperatives. I mean, I know this is, I want to believe almost every one of us belong to one cooperative or the other. And you don't. You are just trying to. It's good, actually. You are into one. I know you are. Do you have any cooperative you belong to? Yeah. Huh? Okay, the one you are doing. The issue is this. You know, let me tell you something about cooperative. That's why I said the other time you ask questions. Number one, who started it? And it must not be one man. If it is one man that started it, then don't join it. It should not be one man. It should be a group of people. Number two, is it registered? There is a group that controls cooperatives. It's not just to register it as a company. It is to also register it as a member of the body that control. Do you understand what I'm saying now? So if those things are not there, because part of the things is about cooperative, and a well-established cooperative submits their financial reports to that body. In other words, they scrutinize what they do. So they cannot afford to mess up. They scrutinize what they do, they monitor everything. So before you can say they declare dividends or bonus, they must have reported or submit the report, and they must have given them approvals. Okay, go ahead and pay everybody. So that's why I said it's not just a joint cooperative. Somebody now comes and says, okay, Alagbado cooperative. No. So, for example, I belong to a cooperative, and of course, cooperatives are set up with different purposes, right? So, some are set up to help the members to take care of their businesses. If what you want to do has nothing to do with business expansion, don't go there. So I belong to one, for example, that it is primarily for real estate. It's a real estate cooperative. So they help you as a member to own land, financing it for you while you pay up over time. You understand what I'm saying now? So what that does is, that's what I was saying the other time, talking about savings and investment. So what that has helped me to do is, there was a time as a cooperative, they bought a large expanse of land, they're now selling to the members. And then the idea is, as a member, you don't need to have all the money to own it. They are bought for you. You now pay instrumentally back into the cooperative. Of course, the space is there. That's why I'm saying it depends. This one, because it's registered with the state government, every necessary procedure is followed, including your survey, everything. They must provide everything for you. So I looked at it. On a normal day, I wouldn't have been able to achieve that if not for that platform. So in acquiring some of those things, sometimes it becomes easier using an already existing platforms. So that's why I'd advise, if you can, locate any good one. And remember, if it is one-man show, don't try it. So join a cooperative. It helps. I'm telling you, it helps. And as a member, even if you need extra funding for something, the rate you will pay, you cannot compare it to what you will pay if you go to the bank. Are you getting what I'm saying now? So because then part of the advantages is, you cannot walk into the bank now, they will ask you for this, ask you for that, ask you for this, ask you for that. Of course, it's a little bit easier now, but as a member, you don't necessarily have to provide some of those things that banks will ask you to provide, because they know you are a member already. So this for me is very important. They don't gamble with your not enough capital. Don't drop all your product relationships that are not helping your finances. This for me is very, very important. Any relationship, if all the time you meet is all about give me, there is no single day you can even say, let me also give you something. For me, that kind of relationship is not it. You understand? So no matter how bad it may be, we should be able to have something to do for ourselves. So any unproductive relationship, it's not supposed to. Invest in properties such as land, houses, and farm. Invest in properties, invest in houses, invest in land. Now, most times people say, I don't have the money to buy land. I don't have the money to buy a house. What people are doing now is that a group of people can come together and own a building. I know you have issues with maybe, I don't know the kind of people that will be in this group, maybe honest. Of course, it's something that is controlled by a group of people, so that when we join resources together, buy this property, by the time somebody rents it, we will share returns on the rent, instead of me waiting for when I will have single-handedly have all the money to buy the property. So this is very, very important. Of course, this is something else that government bonds is also another area. Maybe I will know. I've talked about this, investing or saving a particular amount of money, and then for a period of time. This is savings analysis. This is very, very important. My advice is to set up 1 or 2 year plan how to increase your money by 100%. It's something that one